Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Sean Mitchell, Denver real estate agent with Co-Listings, and this is a real abbreviated version of a Denver real estate market update that I typically do once a month. I do intend on doing that to its fullest extent, probably within the next week. I just wanted to do an abbreviated one since we're well into June, and I try and do it at the beginning of the month. If you do want future updates, email updates on what's going on in the Denver market, I'm going to put a link to where you can subscribe to my email list in the comments or in the video description of this video, and you can click on that, sign up, and then you'll get an email once a month, maybe twice a month if I feel ambitious, but typically I don't send more than 2 out each month. Now, let's get into the video. So I want to touch on a few data points here because I get this question a lot. Has the pandemic affected the real estate market in the Denver area? And I would say it did. And it's now making, as of right now, it's now making what appears like a recovery. You can see, I'll show you this chart here. I'll just turn the camera around. So you can see here, this drop here was April when they disallowed any showings to go on in the Denver area. And when they opened that back up in May, you saw the number of listings shoot back up. So we are seeing a little bit better, a little bit more confidence level in sellers putting their house on the market now that showings are allowed again. This is certainly good news in terms of the level of showings, the level of new listings. It is on par with last May of last year. And in terms of year-over-year change, we're only looking at a just under a 3% drop compared to last year. So it's pretty close. Considering the pandemic, I think it's pretty good that we're only a 3% difference from last year. Will we see more listings go on the market in this month, the month of June? I do think so. So I think this pandemic really created a lot of pent-up demand for buyers and sellers. And anecdotally, what I'm seeing with my buyers as I go out with them, that if the house is priced well, there's multiple offers on that house. I've been in situations 3 or 4 different times here in the last month where there's been really stiff competition, and 5 and 10 and 15 offers have come in for a single house. Of course, all over asking price. So that's good to keep in mind. I want to go to another data point here. Cumulative days on market. This is how many days it's taking from when it hits the market to when it closes. And right now, we are seeing a slight uptick. I'll show you the graph here. So usually we hit the trough. We hit the trough at the peak of the market. So less days on the market. The smaller the number, the faster houses are moving. This uptrend there tells me that we may be heading out of the peak summer season. However, there's a chance that may drop down again in the month of June. So keep a close eye on that one. I think that may be carryover because we're looking at May's data here in this chart. This may have been carryover from houses that went on the market before everything shut down. And so that may be factored into this data. So the pandemic may be skewing that from reality. Here's one last data point that I'll give as I try and keep this video to under 5 minutes, and that is the Denver area unemployment rate. This is the first time this has ever happened in my chart in terms of data, but you can see this tall green line. That is the Denver area unemployment rate. That's 12.1%. We didn't even see that in the depth of the recession back in 2008. Really, we saw the depth of it, the worst of the unemployment rate in 2011. So my take on this is, just as I've been analyzing this, I think this is going to be a temporary unemployment rate. This will be a brief spike, especially as businesses get back to work. I suspect that a lot of this unemployment rate is people who just got furloughed. I know of people in my personal circle who did get furloughed but are now back to work and no longer need unemployment. So I'm going to follow this closely. What I anticipate is this unemployment rate going back down. In comparison to the national average, how is Colorado doing? The national average for unemployment rate back in, this is April's data that we're talking about here. National unemployment rate is 14.7%, or was 14.7% in April. So Colorado is doing slightly better than the national average at 12.1%. Again, I do expect for this unemployment rate to continue to drop throughout 2020. Even if we do have a spike in the pandemic again, I think that people will be better prepared for how to handle this. That's a real brief update. Have any questions, considering buying or selling in the Denver area, put a comment down below and I'd be happy to connect with you. Sean Mitchell, Denver real estate agent with CoListing, signing off. Talk to you on the next video.